The American Heart Association is out with a new report that says up to 5 cups of coffee a day may lower the risk of cardiovascular disease. It comes to the conclusion up to 5 cups of coffee a day might be good for you. Well, what's the real story? I like coffee. I'm going to continue to drink coffee. I don't count how much coffee I drink. There is, in fact, in this entire 11-page document, one article that's very, very good. It is a randomized controlled trial of people with relatively new atrial fibrillation. They are randomized to drink coffee or abstain from coffee, and the endpoint of the study that they're measuring is atrial fibrillation. Does it come back? And lo and behold, there is a reduction. But what does this tell us about people who don't have atrial fibrillation? Nothing. What does this tell us about what happens after 180 days, after this intervention? Nothing. We only have a 180-day follow-up. Do the people who drink coffee have less stroke? Most people have an increased cardiovascular risk of stroke because of atrial fibrillation. By drinking coffee, you lower your AFib burden, so do you lower your stroke burden? And the answer is, we don't know. It could be that by drinking coffee, you suppress the atrial fibrillation, you have less of it. They take away the anticoagulant, saying that you don't have atrial fibrillation. But ironically, you might have benefited from that anticoagulant, and your risk of stroke is actually higher, but you might have done better on the anticoagulant. So, although it's a brilliant study, there are still unanswered questions for this subpopulation of people, and it looks to see what happens to coffee if you're about to exercise. Turns out if you drink coffee, it boosts your blood pressure. Well, is that good? Is that bad? We don't know if it's good or bad. A lot of people believe that if you drink coffee or caffeinated beverages before you exercise harder, you train better, maybe you lower your resting heart rate, you improve your VO2 max, and actually have better cardiovascular outcomes. So beyond this little scenario of AFib, mostly uninteresting, short-term, small, randomized studies. But the authors of the paper don't stop there. There's a sweet spot. Maybe it's around 5 cups of coffee. It's true for heart failure or stroke. Completely useless information, and here's why. As you get less well, lots of people tend to drink less coffee. And being ill might be reversal causality. The being ill drove the coffee reduction and not vice versa. And you just can't separate any of that in an observational study. Beyond this, we have no idea if drinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cups of coffee is optimal for health. In the meantime, you won't find guidance in this guidance document. Because guidelines writers have one bias, they gotta give you some guidance. They can't just say, we don't know. I'm going to choose to ignore this literature, strangely, for some of these core questions about how much tea and coffee and alcohol and berries and dark chocolate you should eat. There is very, very poor evidence. Blah, 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 blah. So, until next time.